Hello everyone, I am George Tony AF. I'm a senior software engineer in LinkedIn. Today I'm going to talk about school-of-sre. This is an initiative by LinkedIn to get people started with the basic information required to start as a SRE. This is the initiative by the LinkedIn to help people get started on this concepts of SRE. So the course is divided into two segments. Level 101, where fundamentals are read, which include Linux basics, create databases, system design, and security. And the next comes is the level 102, where we go for intermediate and expert, advanced levels, Linux interfaces, which include Linux interface, advanced commands, etc. Let's start with fundamental series like Introduction to Linux and its command lines. So this will explain what is Linux operating system is and some of the commands that we use regularly as an SRE. Then we will move towards Linux system administration, where how the user groups are arranged, and go through file permissions and SSH and package management. Then let's try some memory management, etc. So Linux operating system. So most of you are familiar with the Windows operating system. You probably have it at home in a personal computer. The Linux operating system is written on the Linux kernel, which is an open source created by Linus Torvald. The interesting thing is it consists of both GUI and CLI part for interacting with kernel. So the kernel itself is not a complete operating system. So usually the Linux kernel is combined with GNU system to make a complete operating system. So it's often called GNU slash Linux system or GNU Linux system. GNU has extensive collection of free software like compilers, debuggers, C, etc. And you can see it in the wiki link for history of Linux. So there are multiple Linux distributions. Some of the famous were Fedora, Ubuntu, Debian, CentOS, Red Hat, SUSE, Arch Linux. You have probably come across at least one of them. And the thing about Linux is that there is a package manager involved where you can use to install applications and packages. For Debian Ubuntu, it's apt, and for Red Hat Fedora, it's Yum. Let's start with GUI versus command line interface. A user interacts with computer in two ways. One is either using GUI or CLI. GUI or graphic user interface allow user to interact with computer using graphic interfaces such as icons and images. For example, for GUI, it's like you're clicking on an icon to launch an application, or right click to copy and right click paste, etc. As for the command line interface, it allows user to interact with using commands. These commands are run in a terminal, and with the help of system, these commands are executed. A user familiar with GUI will find it difficult to use CLI as he is not aware of how and what commands to be used to perform a particular operation. Shell versus terminal. Let's start with shell. Shell is a program that takes commands from the user and give them to operating system to execute. A shell is an example of a CLI, and bash is one of the shells that we use. Others are Z, SH, KSH, etc. And terminal is a program that opens a window and let you interact with the shell. Some popular terminals are genome terminal, xterm, etc. The basic thing is we interchangeably use both shell and terminal as they both are used to taking commands from the user and execute. So let's start. What is a command? A command is a program that tells the operating system to perform a specific work. A program are stored in has files in a Linux, and therefore a command is also a file which is stored somewhere on the disk. A command takes an additional argument as input from the user, and these arguments are called command line arguments. Understanding how these command line arguments work will help you in performing that command's task. And well, the commands are well documented, and so is their arguments. By giving hyphen h or hyphen hyphen help argument, you can get the documentation of that Linux command. For example, here there is a ls command which lists the files. You can see the list information of the files in a directory, and all the necessary arguments are also given. So let's get started with the file system. So the Linux file system has an hierarchical structure like a tree where the root is the root directory which is represented as slash, and underneath it there are certain directories and each has specific purpose. Slash bin or bin directory consists of all the binary executable files which usually used as commands. For example, cp for copy, ls, pwd, etc. Then consists of dev or the device information directory which consists all the devices attached. Then is etc, or this is used for storing configuration files. The next is the home directory where the user related informations are stored. For each user, there will be a directory inside the home directory. The lib directory consists of all the library files that is used for execution. MNT consists of files related to mounted devices in that system. Pork, PROC consists of files related to running processes. Root directory consists of the user files for the root user. Spin directory consists of files related to system administrations. TMP or temporary directory is to store temporary files. And USR is used to store application programs in the system. There will be other follow-up videos with the Linux commands, basic commands which everyone should know, and system administrations and memory management and etc. So catch up on that.